Shannon, I know one of your areas of expertise is in the perinatal space for postpartum moms. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Postpartum moms have a very unique challenge. So they're trying to recover physically and emotionally from being pregnant and giving birth and then having a baby and just your lives completely turning around. And then there's all the emotions that are going through that, through your mind. There's a lot of scary thoughts like, what if I'm not good enough as a mother? What if I can't do this? Or I don't know what the right way is to do this or to raise a baby or to get a baby to sleep or whatever your thoughts are. It's just such a challenging time for new moms. And then for new moms who have babies who tend to be a little bit more colicky or less calm and relaxed and sleeping all the time, then it gets even more challenging. Plus, new moms tend to be very isolated. You're still recovering physically, so you're probably not moving around a lot, whether you have a C-section or you give birth naturally. So there's a lot of healing that's going on, and there's a lot of isolation that's going on. And new moms just have such a difficult time, I think, in general.
And how do you diagnose postpartum mood issues?
Two of the biggest postpartum mood concerns that we tend to see are postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression. And we don't diagnose it up until at least 2 weeks after someone has had a baby, because those first 2 weeks, you're really still having a lot of hormones going through your body. And a lot of medical changes going on. So if you're continuing to have a lot of symptoms of anxiety or depression after those 2 weeks, and I would say even up to a year after having a baby, that's when we look at maybe we should assess for postpartum anxiety and depression. And the way we do that is we really look at your symptoms, like what are you experiencing? Are you worried all the time? Are you so anxious that you can't sleep even though you're so sleep deprived? Are you not eating and taking care of yourself? Are you not going out? Are you having scary thoughts about yourself? You know, those are all some of the things that we assess when we look at, does someone have postpartum anxiety or postpartum depression?
Great. And tell me about, as a pediatrician, this is something that's near and dear to my heart. And I've seen many moms that have really struggled. So I'm so glad that you're tackling this important issue. But tell me a little bit about your approach to treatment with these moms.
One of the things that we do in treatment is we really get down into how someone is feeling. You know, what is their shame going on? Is there guilt going on? Is there sadness? Is there anxiety? Really identifying what someone is feeling and really normalizing that, meaning that, you know, working with someone to make sure that they think they're not the only one going through this, you know, because when you normalize something and you help someone understand that you're not the only one, there are other people, it makes it just seem easier, because then how do you get connected to those other people? You know, how can you share your own experiences in a meaningful way? So we look at that. We also look at we look at a lot of coping skills. You know, what can you do to manage your anxiety and depression? How can you get some time to take care of yourself again, even though your baby requires you to kind of be around 24/7? So it's some logistical stuff also.
Yeah, that sounds great. I have one last question. I know some moms with postpartum depression and anxiety end up going on to need medication. How often do you think you see that in the moms that are coming through your practice?
Oh gosh, you know, it really depends on what someone's view on taking medication is. We tend to have a lot of people who don't want to take medication. Maybe they're breastfeeding, or they think taking medication means that they are weak and they can't overcome what's going on themselves. So there's a certain, we probably have, I would say at least 50%, if not higher, of new moms coming in who are anti-medication. And that's okay. You know, at some point we can give a very strong recommendation, like, you're feeling so bad right now, medication will only help. So when it gets to that point, we're fine coming in with a strong recommendation about that. But we also respect a woman's right to kind of choose whether or not she wants to be on medication, and she really wants to kind of power through and create the structure and get the coping skills she needs to get through this time without medication, then we respect that also.
Yeah, I would imagine, I love your approach, and I would imagine, of course, the red flag symptoms of if someone gets to the point where they're a danger to themselves or potentially a danger to their baby, those are the times where, you may force that a little bit harder, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. And that's what, at the point where it really becomes more of a mutual decision to refer for a medication evaluation. And we can also support them in kind of bridging that, communicating with their care provider or doctor if we get a release of information, and really helping them take that next step and communicating the concerns the woman has about taking medications to the doctor. But yes, if someone's having thoughts about, dying or suicide or wanting to hurt themselves, or even scary thoughts about the baby that continue to be persistent, because I think scary thoughts are pretty normal, but when they become a little persistent is when it gets a little bit concerning.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen that in my practice, and it can be very concerning. And usually it's very concerning for the moms too. That they realize that this is not a normal thought process, but it's not something that they can control at that moment either. So
Right.
I
And it's
am
scary. It's really scary for women to have those thoughts. Yeah.
right. I think you also mentioned that you have some groups at Catalyst Counseling, and is there one specifically for these postpartum moms?
Yes, we do have a postpartum mom support group, and that meets every week. And we are currently enrolling as we're talking right now. So I anticipate that we'll continue to enroll for that group once it gets full. And once it's full, we'll open up another group because it's so needed right now. Postpartum women just don't have access to their normal support system right now. And this is a really good way to connect with other new moms to check out, hey, I'm feeling like this. Is this what you're feeling like? Is this normal? Or what are some tips on how to get your baby to sleep at night? What are some ideas about how to get a shower in the middle of the day? Just basic questions like that we think we would never have to ask someone else.
That's great. I wish I had had something like that when I had my daughter. She's 15 now, so I'm a little bit past that, but it sounds like a really great resource.
Thank you.
Shannon, thank you so much for being with us today. Again, Shannon Heers with Catalyss Counseling. They have a group practice, and they are all of her providers are on the Therapeasy platform. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Katie.